Well, we haven't seen anything yet, according to Alex. Let's see what he says.
Well, we know that the FBI, and it's not the whole FBI, but it's rogue elements, have the FBI technology to actually where they can call and activate your phone to call them. And then they actually listen to you. Even when the phone's off, they can do that. That came out 20 years ago. So now suddenly phones that Giuliani and the president have are dialing and picking up, and then people are hearing things. I mean, they're going to go ruthless now. Like Biden said Thursday, Trump's never decried white supremacism, even though we have all the footage and all the clips. We'll play that at the end of this piece, showing that. It's gotten so crazy that if we think the hysteria and the false stories have been bad, that the disinfo has been bad, we ain't seen nothing yet. So how would you quantify this point in time we're in right now? And since you've been so accurate at predicting what would come next, what comes next? I'm going to shut the mic off and finish up listening to you because it's riveting.
It's unparalleled and unprecedented. So that we've had little historical examples of this in the past. I mean, we had the assassination of President Lincoln, the assassination of President Kennedy, the assassination of Martin Luther King and Robert Francis Kennedy. We've seen sort of events like that. And we saw, of course, the taking out of President Nixon by Mark Felt when Nixon tried to de-Hooverize the FBI. Undisclosed was that Deep Throat's real identity was the man who ran COINTELPRO and illicit deep state activities against American citizens for the better part of 2 decades, was criminally indicted for that and ultimately found his way out of that prosecution. So we've had small historical parallels for what has been taking place today, but no full-scale historical parallels for what's taking place today. It's no coincidence that the president chose Rudy Giuliani, a former U.S. attorney, a former mayor, someone who understands the criminal prosecutorial process, someone who still has deep ties to the New York FBI. It was Rudy Giuliani who was about to out James Comey in the 2016 election for sitting on and hiding the email disclosures and discoveries by New York FBI agents in their investigation into Huma Abedin's husband connected to Hillary Clinton's emails that forced James Comey to disclose to Congress that they in fact had such emails and were doing the investigation. President chose Giuliani not only because of his loyalty, but because of his knowledge of how the system operates. And it's no coincidence that all of a sudden they were announcing criminal prosecutions of even people connected to Giuliani, trying to say he was under criminal investigation because they were trying to weaponize the process to preclude and prevent what happened is happening. They were trying to stop someone like James Baker. And the person that has now been confirmed as identified in various published reports and from well-regarded and well-respected resources and sources in Washington, FBI General Counsel, ex-FBI General Counsel, James Baker, is now a cooperating witness against the Spygate operators. And there's two kinds of cooperating.
Wow. So James Baker flips. Wow.
Witnesses. There's cooperating informants. They call them CIs in the internal FBI and Justice Department terminology. And then there's what's called CWs, cooperating witnesses. Cooperating informants, you keep undisclosed. You don't disclose that they're involved or cooperating. They go and try to get tape-recorded conversations with other people, so on and so forth. By contrast, cooperating witnesses are people that are fully disclosed and that they simply have an agreement with the government to provide full information in exchange for not being prosecuted for any of the information they provide. So the FBI General Counsel, James Baker, has now become, according to published reports, a cooperating witness in the Spygate investigation by Attorney General Barr and U.S. Attorney John Durham. The significance of that is that this is an individual who, as general counsel to the FBI, knows where all of the bodies are buried because he's supposed to be copied on all the emails, supposed to be kept in the loop on all the texts, supposed to know all the internal memorandum, supposed to be part of all the internal conversations because he legally clears their activities, or at least is supposed to be knowledgeable enough to make a legal determination when and if that decision comes down the pipe. That's why it is critical and essential to have someone at such a institutional role, in the middle of the network, to be able to testify against all of the rest. So his role and what he is there to do is I suspect the reason why the news is coming out is two reasons. There may be people who are targets who are leaking that information in the hopes that nobody talks to him and lets everybody know what's happening. More likely it is being put out there because these are a bunch of rats on a ship that is watching the water flow in. And you have people like George Soros talking in the New York Times saying, don't worry, there's no water in the ship. That's not really water that you're looking at. Everybody stay in the same place and you won't drown if you stay on the ship. You don't need to jump off ship. But the problem is James Baker is a counter to that. The FBI general counsel, who knows where all the bodies is buried, is already talking, already cooperating, already helping the Trump administration and Attorney General Barr expose and end the deep state's corrupt, collusive role in American government, hopefully once and for all.
All right, we're going to end it here. James Baker, I didn't know that he flipped. They're saying he flipped. This is great news, which means others are going to be coming either on board or jumping board. One way or another, it's coming. It's Roger Martin from Billings, Montana. This is from Infowars. I'll give you the full link on this video. This is great news. Good day.